Obama stepping up his attacks on Donald Trump in his most cutting comments yet. The president calls on other Republicans to withdraw their support for Trump.
Mr. Obama was weighing in on the continuing controversy over Trump's criticism of the parents of a Muslim American Army captain who was killed in battle.
I think the Republican nominee is unfit to serve as president. I said so last week, and he keeps on proving it.
Trump, who will make a campaign stop here in Jacksonville tomorrow, quickly took to social media to respond. He said in part, quote, Obama, Clinton have single-handedly destabilized the Middle East, handed Iraq, Libya, and Syria to ISIS, and allowed our personnel to be slaughtered at Benghazi. Then they put Iran on the path to nuclear weapons. Then they allowed dozens of veterans to die waiting for medical care that never came. The Democratic candidate for vice president says Trump's comments about the Muslim American family are, in his words, the lowest of the low. Tim Kaine just wrapped up a rally at Daytona State College, where Kent Justice is joining us now live. Kent?
Yeah, and Tom, that rally wrapped up just in the last hour. Tim Kaine here did not address specifically the comments that you just referred to there by Donald Trump, but he took plenty of time to address how he and Hillary Clinton feel about the Republican candidate. Kaine didn't have to work very hard to win over the supporters, but probably came away with a few more fans.
America gets to choose about whether they want a you're hired president or a you're fired president.
Senator Tim Kaine earning applause as he drew the distinctions between Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump.
This is definitely like the one election where I've legitimately kind of feared if one nominee went over the other. Because previously I just kind of oh, it will be okay, whoever wins.
The speech of a vice presidential candidate usually is only a little about them and a lot about the nominee for president. Kaine spoke about issues important to the crowd gathered here at Daytona State College.
He's a nice guy, but he's smart and intelligent and strong, and he comes across as kind of like just the everyday nice guy. But he has a back of steel, and he fights for what he believes in, and he will fight for us.
Well, I think he's a very smart man. Yeah, he knows a lot about foreign policy. He's very in tune with what's going on. He's well liked in the Senate, and I think that he was a good choice. He's very stable. He's very supportive. And I think that the message is going to get out there. People are going to understand that this is a solid, good ticket for the country, and it's the right way to go.
Kaine gave Hillary Clinton supporters what they wanted, striking a chord on paying women the same as men for the same work, saying Clinton will deliver.
Point 4, work family. Boy, it's complicated now. I mean, people work multiple jobs. Husbands and wives or partners are working, and we're juggling family life, and that's complicated, and kids are working. And so we want to have policies that enable that work-family balance to really matter.
Oh, no, I already know. I'm a big Hillary supporter. I am a loyal Democrat, and I am a fantastic Tim Kaine supporter. He's amazing.
And coming up at 6 o'clock, you're going to hear from a supporter of Bernie Sanders who was in attendance saying, no, I do need to hear more from the Democratic Party and figure out if I'm still going to be with them when it comes to the November election. In Daytona, Kent Justice, Channel 4, the local station.
Kent, did Kaine spend more time attacking the Republican candidate or spelling out what Hillary Clinton wants to accomplish?
Yeah. By and large, most of the speech was, here's our platform, here's exactly what we're going to try to accomplish in the first 100 days if we are elected. And he really focused a lot on jobs. You did hear at the beginning of our story, though, one of his key phrases that got a lot of applause. He said, America, you've got the choice between you're hired president, meaning Hillary Clinton, or you're fired president, obviously pointing to Donald Trump. Tom?
Kent Justice reporting live from Daytona Beach. Thanks, Kent.